Donald Trump's line of attack on Hillary Clinton goes right to the heart of what her supporters think is one of her strengths, that as a woman she could somehow understand the issues that women face, so they should vote for her. But Trump has spent the better part of a week attacking that premise, trying to paint her as something else. Listen to one example from earlier this month in Oregon when Trump talked about the women at the center of Bill Clinton's rumored, aside from Monica Lewinsky, infidelities.
She was an unbelievably nasty, mean enabler, and what she did to a lot of those women is disgraceful.
Now, we should point out there's no evidence that she did any of that, though he was very unspecific. Now, some Trump supporters, at least one who's been on this program, take the argument a step further and point to the time that Secretary Clinton, then Hillary Rodham, was a public defender in Arkansas and appointed by a judge to defend a man accused of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. It was actually brought up a couple of weeks ago on 360. I said CNN hadn't ever reported on it. Turns out we had back in 2014. I was wrong because it being brought up again today, we wanted to find out what really happened back in that case. There are a lot of accusations flying around the campaign, so we're going to try to take as many opportunities as we can in the coming months to take a step back and examine the facts against the claims whenever we can, starting with this one and our Randy Kay.
It happened on this stretch of highway in Fayetteville, Arkansas, back in 1975. A 12-year-old girl brutally attacked by a 41-year-old man. They were reportedly in his pickup truck after midnight and parked in a ravine. That's where she says he beat and raped her. The sixth grader ended up in the emergency room. The young lawyer called on to defend the suspect in the case was none other than Hillary Rodham. Just 27, she had moved to Arkansas to be with her then-boyfriend, Bill Clinton. Hillary Rodham was running the legal clinic at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. The defendant, Thomas Alfred Taylor, who denied the charge, had requested a woman lawyer. So the judge appointed the future Mrs. Clinton. It would be her first criminal defense case. Maylin Gibson was the prosecutor at the time.
The day after she was appointed, in fact, she called me and wanted to know if I could get her unappointed. She didn't want to represent the rapist.
Despite her objections, Clinton immersed herself in Taylor's defense, as she was legally obligated to do. In this affidavit seeking a psychiatric evaluation of the victim and signed Hillary Rodham, the rookie lawyer painted the victim as emotionally unstable, suggesting she'd brought false accusations like this before, that she fantasized about older men, and that experts say children like the victim tend to exaggerate or romanticize sexual experiences. CNN contributor Josh Rogan interviewed the victim, now in her 50s, back in 2014, nearly 4 decades after the crime. The victim said the allegations in the affidavit are untrue, that she'd never romanticized sexual experiences or made any false accusations before.
There's never been any evidence presented by anyone to substantiate the allegations that Hillary Clinton made in that affidavit. To the victim, this was an attempt by Hillary Clinton to smear her in order to exonerate her attacker. The victim believes that Hillary Clinton lied in order to win.
Clinton also insisted on getting her own expert opinion on the accused rapist's underwear after the crime lab had cut out the key part of the sample to test, then lost it. In a bold move for a first-time defender, Clinton brought what was left of the accused rapist's underwear from Arkansas all the way here to Brooklyn, New York, more than 1,200 miles, just so a renowned forensic expert she'd hunted down could look it over. A move considered aggressive even by the prosecutor's standards. Maybe so, but it worked. Clinton's expert cast doubt on what was left of the evidence, saying it hardly showed the defendant's blood or semen. The prosecution's case quickly started to unravel.
We began to scramble and consider possibilities of lesser offenses.
The story was mostly forgotten until in 2014, audio emerged of Clinton talking about the case with an Arkansas journalist back in the 1980s. Listen to her laugh describing the moment she delivered her forensic expert's findings to the prosecutor.
I handed it to Maylin Gibson. Well, this guy's ready to come from New York to prevent this miscarriage of justice.
Those recordings were played for the victim by Josh Rogan during his interview. Her reaction was anger.
When I heard that tape, I was pretty upset. You lied on me, and you're supposed to be it for women? Do you call that for women?
what you done to me, and I heard you on tape laughing.
There is another piece of audio that Clinton's critics have pointed to for some time. Clinton on the same tape laughing about her client passing a polygraph.
He took a lie detector test. I had to take a polygraph, which he passed, which forever destroyed my faith in polygraphs. But you know what was sad about it was that the prosecutor had evidence.
But whatever evidence the prosecutor had was trumped by Clinton's defense. In fact, even the prosecutor told us Clinton was doing what any good defense attorney would do.
She was just doing her job. She was going to present the best defense she could, and she was certainly going to require us to prove his guilt.
In a plea deal, she got her client's charges reduced from rape to unlawful fondling of a child. For rape, Thomas Taylor could have gone to prison for life. Instead, he was sentenced to 1 year in the county jail. Even that was reduced 2 months for time served. Clinton was asked about the case weeks after her audio tapes emerged during this interview with an online parent network in Britain.
When you're a lawyer, you often don't have the choice as to who you will represent, and by the very nature of criminal law, there will be those who you represent that you don't approve of, but at least in our system, you have an obligation, and once I was appointed, I fulfilled that obligation.
No matter her explanation, the victim sees it very differently.
She said that the sentence was a miscarriage of justice. In the victim's view, you cannot at once smear a rape victim and then turn around and claim to be a defender or a role model for women.
Randy joins us now. Did the Clinton campaign have anything to say about this?
Anderson, I reached out to get their reaction earlier today, and a spokesman for the campaign did send me a statement which covers a couple of the main points in our story. First, on the affidavit, the spokesman told me this. Clinton was simply citing information from experts and investigators involved in the case as a reason to seek further expert opinion. So in other words, Anderson, the affidavit didn't express her opinions about the victim. The campaign says she was just sharing the opinions of these experts. Now, on the issue of her laughing on tape, the same campaign spokesman told me this. The reactions were very clearly expressions of disbelief at breakdowns in the handling of the case and absurdities that she'd encountered within the court system's bureaucracy. Adding this, in the interview, he says that she called this a terrible case, and it's clear she is pained to recall it. And I should also point out, Anderson, that Mrs. Clinton has written in her book, Living History, that this case actually inspired her to start the first rape hotline.